Welcome back, everybody. I was super excited to hop on my bike, get riding, and go get some food. But I didn't realize until I was sitting on it and starting it that I need gas. I kind of forgot to put gas the last time I rode it, and it had been a little while since I rode, so it's kind of just been sitting there. Because I was just like, I'll just pump gas next time I do it. But next time didn't come until today, so I don't get to go straight to where I want to get food, but we are going to pump gas first, then go get some food. So I think what I'm going to do, surprisingly enough, even though it's kind of warm, I've been craving some ramen, so we're going to go do that. I know roughly the area where there is supposed to be a ramen place. I kind of wanted to raw dog it a little bit and just go based off of vibes, and if I find it, I find it. If I don't, I look for something else. But I know the general area. I kind of wanted to raw dog it a little bit and just sort of, do it the old-fashioned way and, find this place without the crutch that is technology. Even though I'm using technology to record this, but we're going to talk about that. So let's get some gas. Gas is expensive. It's about $6.18 a gallon. Thank God I've only got like 3 gallons in this. Yeah, $14 for a little over 2 gallons, 2 1/4. Not the most ideal. Now we ride. So I've been having this kind of mix of like super good productivity where I want to do stuff and I plan stuff out. And then when the moment comes, it kind of just all like fizzles out. Which kind of sucks because you get in a really good grind of like trying to do things and pushing yourself and setting up all these plans either for the next day or for that day and kind of set up a roadmap. But then sometimes it's just, I don't know, you just get complacent, which sucks. And I'm trying to stop doing that because it's keeping me from continuing to make stuff for you guys. It's keeping me from continuing to keep myself out there. And another part of it has always been, and I think this is the one problem that I will just constantly have no matter what, no matter where I am with any of my progress, any of my career, any of my planning, any of my anything. I think the one problem I'm always going to have is that desire for perfection, where I'm going to want to make sure I have the best gear, the best camera, the best microphone, the best, like filters and things like that, and obsessing constantly over just how much those things make a difference and trying to make sure that I have the best audio. So like going in and tweaking audio, recording a video 3, 4, or 5 times instead of just once or twice, because I swear I can find the one little thing, and because I can't find that one little thing to make everything perfect, I get really dejected about everything. I get really, I lose my inspiration, I lose my drive, my focus, because I'm like, this is not that good, it's gonna kind of suck, I need something better. When that is not the case. That's not how it needs to be. If this video looks crappy but is good, the goodness of it, the quality of what's happening can definitely outbalance the quality of the video, whether it's the audio or the microphone or the video. And it's just, I don't know, I'm just such a motorcycles. Procurement Select. I wonder what that shop is. I've always ridden past it. I'm unfortunately just such a anxious person, nervous person, that I find it very difficult to put my plans to paper. And not even just to paper, but to, you know, make them physical, to bring plans to life. So, like, you know, thoughts to paper is hard, but paper to reality is even harder. You're not wasting your time if you don't feel like you're wasting your time. You're constantly just moving forward, and if you keep moving forward, you'll look back one day and realize just how far you've come in whatever directions or whatever aspects you originally thought about or wanted to. You made some good progress, whether it's small or big. Progress is progress, and the age you are has no bearing on that. You can have it all figured out when you're 20, you can have it all figured out when you're 30, when you're 40, when you're 50. And that moment of having it figured out could be the first time you have it figured out. And there's nothing wrong with that. You could be clueless and wandering and just pushing yourself for years. And don't feel bad just because you think you're falling behind in this big race. Don't feel like you need to compare yourself to others if it affects you negatively. Feel free to compare yourself to others if it's going to push you, if it's going to encourage you. But the moment, the instant that that comparison goes from like a positive reinforcement to a negative feeling and something that drags you down instead, that's when you need to stop. That's when you need to stop doing that and just focus on what you do have. Focus on the fact that you're alive, you're trying, and you want to be better. That's it. I can give myself some really good advice and give other people really good advice and talk about all things you should do and how you should behave. But a lot of the time, I don't follow my own advice because to any number of reasons, you know. I just can't really push myself to for some reason. Where even though I know it's a good idea, I know it's something that should be done or could be done, it's something that will make things better, for some reason I just don't. And even though I know about this advice, I've thought about it, I've heard it, I know these plans exist, I know these methods exist, I know these things will improve if I do the things I say I want to do, but I don't know, I just struggle from time to time. Taco Bell. I'm gonna be honest, and all my yapping, I think I went too far. I think I need to go right as soon as possible, actually. This is what happens when you actually talk too much. You end up missing your street, because I am all the way on baseline when I should have turned right on Foothill, which, come to think of it, was like a bit of a ways back. So I'll go back to Haven, which I believe is the next street over. I just got really wrapped up in what I was talking about. Wow. I remember seeing all these videos, you know, movies, TV shows, all that stuff, where people have motorcycles, or they're riding motorcycles, and they're always riding like one-handed. I remember when I first started, I was like, I don't think I could do that. I feel like I'm going to be... It's just such a stressful thing to do, to ride, that you kind of... Why would you take one hand off? That's such a bad idea. And then, like, didn't take me too long before I started doing that myself, because it's just relaxing. Like, once you've got a good speed, and you're like in a, you know, kind of good, stable sort of cruise, there is... You can just get a little comfortable, you know? Because other than adding a little stability, my left hand doesn't do much when I'm like at a set speed, because that's the clutch right there. So all that would do is help me when I want to like change gears, or you know, to basically just cut power to the engine and just go off like momentum. So once you hit a good speed and you're kind of chilling, it's easy to just kind of take this left hand and just set it down your lap, just relax, you know, just kind of lean back a little bit, keep your right hand on the throttle well enough, and especially obviously be as vigilant as possible at all times, be as observant as you can to vehicles around you, so that you don't just, you know, accidentally get hit by somebody or run into someone, or, you know, cause some kind of accident. So just because you can relax doesn't mean you're like fully relaxing, you know what I mean? There's like levels to this. But one thing I will say is that the no-handing is something I hardly ever do. Even when I'm at a good speed, even if I got like cruising, that is just way too scary for me. I feel like I lose too much control. I can do it for like 5 to 10 seconds maybe before I get really anxious. And I could be fine. I could probably be going at a good speed and like not losing my balance, losing control, but I feel like it's at the moment, like any moment I will, you know? Because I can drop one, no problem, but once I drop the second one, my mind is like, grab it, grab it, grab it, grab it, grab it. And also because I don't have good cruise control on this, so once I do remove my right hand from the equation, I lose acceleration. So I'm not speeding up, I'm not maintaining my speed anymore, I'm inevitably going to slow down. And the slower you go, the more dangerous it gets, because your bike will end up tipping over, possibly. So unless I get a good cruise control on this, which I doubt I will, because it's a little Sportster. I don't feel like investing too much in the form of cruise control, because there's expensive things I can do, there's cheap things I can do. I think there's like literally a bracket or something I can buy that attaches here, that basically I just kind of pick where I want the throttle at, and then I push it down, and it basically just like pinches it to lock it in that spot. Which seems like a decent alternative to something expensive and like technical about the bike. But it's a Sportster, it's pretty bare bones. There's not a lot of bells and whistles on it, so there's definitely no like digital or any kind of cruise control in that way like some of the fancier bikes might have. So I'm always wondering if I should get it, because it could help a little bit, but also it's one of those things of, again, introducing just too much comfort or relaxation and taking your mind off of what's happening. And you really don't want to be doing that much or at all on a motorcycle. In a car, sure, be a little more relaxed, I guess, even though they're larger, more dangerous. But I'm on two wheels, I am exposed to the elements. It's much more dangerous for me than it is for a lot of other people. So I don't know. But that's another reason I usually don't no-hand it, is because within 5 to 10 seconds, I'm losing speed. And so I'm slowing down a bit. So whoever's behind me might be like, all right, this guy's slowing down, but I need to get around him because he's slowing me down. And they might, you know, kind of do some somewhat dangerous or risky maneuvers to try and go around me, because they can't stand. People sometimes cannot stand to arrive somewhere 10 seconds later than they could. They always want to get somewhere as quickly as possible. But yeah, see, like here, while I'm kind of just cruising and chilling, I'm fine just one-handing it, you know. I can brake a little bit with my right hand using the front brake. I can brake with my right foot using the rear brake. I usually try to do both of them in tandem. That way I'm just like mentally training myself to always try and do both brakes in some way. Because there's too many people that when they learn how to ride, they learn that, you know, the front brake is anywhere between like 66 to like 75% of your braking power. So most of your braking power is going to be from that front brake. The rear brake is 25 to 33%. It's about a quarter of it, maybe a little more. So because of that, people learn that you're going to want to keep yourself stopped harder with the front brake. And so they end up using the rear brake too much. They ride the rear brake way too much because that's the slower, more peaceful stop. Whereas the front brake is a harder, more sudden. So anytime they panic and hit the front one, they're like, ooh, jerk, which they don't want to do because it looks bad. Because if you brake like that in front of people, they're going to be like, oh, you'll feel judged, like they think you can't ride for crap. Then what else can happen is because they end up avoiding that stronger brake because it's scarier, they end up depending on the rear brake too much. So that when they're going to get into an accident, they slam on the rear brake and basically end up just like skidding and not braking as strongly, as hard as they could because of that panic. You're afraid that if you get too accustomed to using the front brake in an emergency, you're going to like squeeze that front brake as hard as you can without touching enough of the rear brake. And if you think about a bike that's moving forward, if the front wheel is over here and you brake as hard as you can, the front brake locks up and stops trying to move. What's going to happen, when wheels are moving forward and your bike is moving, you're not going to like flip over. You're causing this like axis to stop. You're stopping the wheel from rotating on that kind of axis, and you're forcing it to rotate on itself instead. And so people are afraid of their bike just launching them. But don't be afraid. Learn to just use both. There are two brakes for a reason. Try your best to use them in tandem. And like when you're at a stop, if you need to use a brake, try to use just the front one, because if that's the easiest one, you're going to be putting least pressure. Or, pick your right foot up, leave it on there, and just press it down. That way your right hand can be free. Like, there's all these different ways you can try to do things that don't require you to, like, lock in and ignore one specific way. Okay, I think it's coming up somewhere. I know it's after this street I just passed, but it's definitely not in here. I think it's like at least one or two more streets up. It's not this light either. Okay, only problem is I don't really know where it is in here. There's a Mediterranean kebab place. I might try that if I don't find this place. Or if it's closed, because I didn't pay attention. I was thinking, ooh, hot pot. I was like, this could actually be a place that closes for a very short period of time, like early, like in the late afternoon to early evening, because some places do that. They got bucket crab, they got a pho place, there's an 85 degrees, and then there's wabi sabi, and Jen. I'm trying to park in the shade. Let's see if I can find it. Ramen Masuta. It's on that side of this building. Okay. That makes sense. That's a jiu-jitsu place. Ah, there it is. Ramen Masuta. Is there a nice breezy little tree I could park under, perhaps? I have a love-hate relationship with parking under trees with my bike, because on one hand, it provides some shade, so my bike will be a cooler, lower temperature than if it sits in the sun. And on the other hand, if it's a tree, birds can hang out in those. If they hang out in those, my bike might get crapped on. But we're here. I'm going to get my stuff unpacked and head on in. So we're going to see you in like a sec. Whew. That was real good. That was real good. That ramen hit the spot. Also got some gyoza. Those fried very nicely. It was all so good. Trying to think about the best way to get out of here, because now we're just gonna ride home with a very full and satisfied stomach. I could probably come out the way I came, and since I'm really close to a cross street that would be helpful, use that cross street to head back in the direction of my house. So what is this Fiat doing? Tiny car, dude. Denny's, America's Diner. With the way this road serpentines, I always forget where I want to be. I guess I'm turning right here. And if this is Rochester again, yeah, I need to turn left too. No, this is Buffalo. Where am I going? I'm gonna be honest, now that I think about it, I think I was supposed to turn on Buffalo. That's so I kind of just like totally spaced out for most of this ride. I am very much in food coma mode, which is perfect timing actually, because we're getting close enough to home that I gotta cut it soon anyways. So that was a delicious ramen place in Rancho Cucamonga, California. So thanks for coming along with me. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed. As I ate some delicious ramen and got to ride around and yap a lot, which I love to do anyways. But we'll see you guys next time. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We'll be back next time with some more stuff. I'm also trying to stream on YouTube. I have like my old Twitch account and had a YouTube account that I was kind of using for the gaming stuff, but I realized I kind of just want to combine everything and just have one place be the one spot you can find me doing anything. So I switched it over to this one. So if I'm ever going live for streaming, I'll be playing random games. I've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire 2 lately, and started playing Path of Exile 2, and I just, play pretty much everything. Every new game that comes out, I usually try to get my hands on it because I absolutely love video games. So be on the lookout for the occasional stream where I just kind of kick back at home and play some video games for you guys to watch. Like I said, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you want to see next. Tell me how you're doing. Let's catch up. Let's vibe. Let's hang out together. That's all we're here to do, is just hang out, keep doing things, keep moving forward. But I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.